Hey everybody, welcome to Enliven Wellness. My name's Tessa and I'm excited to be here to tell you why I went on the carnivore diet in the first place. I get asked this question all the time and I wanted to go ahead and make a video to share my experiences with the carnivore diet, why I went on it, and what results I have seen. All right, so to give a little bit of background to those of you who haven't watched my channel, I was diagnosed with like a lot of different chronic conditions. The biggest one being chronic Lyme disease. I also was diagnosed with mold poisoning. I have two different genetic variants that make it really difficult for me to detox. I have the HLADR, genetic SNP, SNP. Also, I'm compound heterozygous for the MTHFR, mother bleeper gene, as we call it. And so I had a lot of things stacked up against me. I also had SIBO, I had parasites, I had really bad digestive issues. I can't even tell you. I was stick thin even though I was eating food. It's because I wasn't absorbing food. I had no energy. Actually, in fact, I ended up getting Bell's palsy-like symptoms where my right eye was drooping. I had neurological issues. I had breathing issues. I had really bad anxiety. Crippling anxiety to the point where like I couldn't even sometimes get out of bed in the morning. I also had depression. I had a lot of, I couldn't focus. I had wicked brain fog. And if you know, you know when it comes to brain fog. So I had brain fog. I had, what else? I had hormonal problems. I had thyroid problems, hypothyroid. I also lost my period for literally a decade. I couldn't put on muscle. I was wasting away and I was miserable. So essentially what happened was I went on a journey back in starting around 2008 is when I really started going on my health journey because no one could figure me out. I was like an alien, right? I was that patient that would go into the doctor's office and they're like, we don't know what to do with you, because I was just coming in with all of these crazy symptoms and they're like, didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really have a solid diagnosis until I started doing my own research. And then I started to find all of these kind of alternative doctors, and then I ended up going and getting my degree in integrative medicine, which I just graduated with in May, by the way. And so I have my master's of science of health sciences in integrative medicine now. But what led me there was all of my illnesses. Like I can't tell you enough out there. And if you are suffering, then you know exactly what I mean. That when you are dealing with chronic illness, it's like living hell on earth and your body becomes your own prison. It's horrible. So we all know that diet plays a huge role in recovery. So I initially went ketogenic, right? Because I started doing research about carbohydrates and SIBO. And once I realized that I had SIBO, the reason why I realized I had SIBO was not because of a formal test, but because I was farting all the time. Literally, like I was bloated constantly. I was really skinny, but I still had like a really puffy tummy. And I had chronic B vitamin deficiency that manifested as something called macrocytic anemia, which is where your red blood cells get really, really big. It's a severely uncomfortable condition, y'all. And it was because of SIBO due to low stomach acid, due to, antibiotic, overload from when I had sinus infections years previous. Again, I was a wreck, you guys. I was a wreck. And so when I discovered ketogenic and I started slowly cutting out carbohydrates out of my diet, I noticed an improvement. I also went on major high doses of colloidal silver once because I got the flu, and I was actually having a lot of relief from my digestive symptoms the more colloidal silver I took. That's what actually also led me to say, okay, this must be SIBO. Regardless, I got on a very low carbohydrate diet and I did notice a relief in my symptoms. I started having less joint pain, less body pain. I was having less brain fog. I wasn't as bloated. I didn't feel quite as shitty, but I didn't feel just as optimal as I wanted to. And then I came across the work of Mikhaila Peterson, who a lot of you probably have heard her name. She's on something called the Lion diet. So she does an even stricter form of carnivore, which is just beef, salt, water. And I really started getting into her work because she had wacky health symptoms also. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this girl, I can relate to her. I also fell in love with her dad's work, Jordan Peterson. That's a whole other story. Who's also on the carnivore diet now, by the way, because of his health conditions. So, when I found Mikhaila Peterson's work, I finally was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to take the leap and I'm going to try this carnivore diet thing. And I can't tell you the relief that I felt when I initially went on the carnivore diet. There were some other things going on when I first did it, I was definitely improving, don't get me wrong. But I also was living in a very stressful environment, so my health still wasn't totally to where I wanted it to be. I was also part of the New Age movement, which now I'm a born-again Christian. That's a topic for a whole other video. But I know that my dabbling in the New Age also contributed to my downfall. But now that I'm on the right path through and through, Jesus follower, and also I know that might turn some people off, but I'm not ashamed of talking about my Lord and Savior. So, whatever your beliefs are, it's fine, but this is just my personal video. And I did get back on the carnivore diet after taking about 2 months off of it. And my life has profoundly changed. I have such mental clarity. I no longer am bloated ever bloated. I rarely fart. Thank you. I don't have that Bell's palsy-like symptom. My breathing is infinitely better. I have lots of muscle on my body now, and it's pretty effortless. I have a very high endurance at the gym. I work out for on some days, because I'm also a dance teacher. Sometimes I work out, no joking, for about 5 hours a day, and I still have energy. So I am moving my body all the time, and I'm not fatigued. I have my days when I haven't slept well, or, I haven't gotten enough sleep, or maybe I ate something maybe I had somebody put green chili on something like that. It just really didn't sit right with me, but that's really rare. And the thing about when I have a setback is that I recover very fast. So my immune system has improved infinitely. What else? Oh, I got my period back. So my hormones are totally back in balance, and my period is perfect. I have cramps for a little bit, the first day, and then it's just clockwork. Every 28 days, she's just on the mark. And I used to have really bad cramps growing up, and I don't have those anymore because my hormones are in balance. I did lose all of my hair, and that's something that I'm growing back currently. That was a really tough one, but I did lose all my hair when I was going through my chronic illness, and that's something that I'm growing back slowly. The hair is kind of one of the last things to come back. But again, it's growing back. My hairstylist is it's growing, it's getting thicker, and so yay. I'm trying to think of the other ways my life has improved. Oh, my anxiety. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about anxiety. I don't know who out there needs to hear this, but if you have any kind of anxiety, depression, bipolar, any kind of neuropsychiatric, psychologic issues, seriously consider going on carnivore. I wanted to end my video with this. So I know that this is a controversial way of eating, and some people might come at me and say, oh, it's unhealthy to eat this way. You can say whatever you want. You haven't tried it. And there's a lot of new research that's coming out about the efficacy of the carnivore diet. And I wanted to mention a groundbreaking study that was just released on the carnivore diet back in December. And it was an amazing study done on a lot of different subjects. I think it was over 2,000 different subjects did this study. Now, it was self-reported measures, of course, so we haven't gotten to the double-blind RCTs yet, but this study actually is laying the groundwork for more research to be done about the carnivore diet. This study showed an improvement 90% or above in all the test subjects' conditions that they entered the study with, meaning diabetes, anxiety, heart issues, right? There was a whole list of issues and conditions that the subjects were suffering from, and they improved over 90%. 80 to 90% improvement in symptoms. I will link that study in the description box down below if you want to take a look, but there is definitely something going on here. And I'm really excited. And again, if you or anyone you know would be interested in trying the carnivore diet, I have lots of experience with it. I do know how to mitigate some of the symptoms of, switching from a carbohydrate diet to a carnivore diet. I have some tips and tricks and hacks that will make that transition easier. If you've heard of the keto flu, it is a real thing, but I can actually help you through it. So just reach out and email me if you'd like a free consultation and we can work together. And I would just love to help you get to where I'm at, because it really is such a blessing, and there is no freedom like the freedom of having your health. So all right, guys, I'll make a follow-up video later, but thank you so much. And please check me out also on TikTok. I have a TikTok channel and I'll link that down below. So thanks so much. Bye.